Until 1909, Americans drank from a single chained-up public cup shared by thousands, bolted to train walls, schoolhouse pumps, and courthouse wells across the country. Nobody thought twice until one doctor realized this object was a serial killer. Germ theory was barely understood, and tuberculosis was wiping out 1 in 7 people. Typhoid, diphtheria, even the common cold rode along for free, and every disease accumulated on that unwashed metal rim, the perfect biological weapon. Public health investigator Dr. Samuel Crumbine finally caught the deadly cup in the act. In 1907, he was on a Kansas train, escorting a contagious tuberculosis patient. He watched the dying man lift the communal cup, drink, and walk away. Moments later, a healthy little girl grabbed the exact same unwashed rim and drank. Crumbine was horrified. He had just witnessed a lethal, invisible handoff between strangers. He launched a ruthless crackdown, passing the nation's first absolute cup ban in Kansas in 1909. Practically overnight, cups vanished from every well, train, and schoolhouse in the state. The ban triggered moral panic, tabloids screamed, "Cup of death!" and doctors staged public demonstrations, growing bacteria straight off cup rims to shock the skeptics. Within 2 years, 7 states had outlawed the cup outright. By 1912, that number exploded to 24. Dozens of railroads surrendered, forcing the federal government to outlaw the cup on all interstate trains. To replace the communal cups, an entirely new industry of public hygiene was forced into existence. A Boston lawyer patented the first disposable paper cup and built a penny vending machine to dispense it. His company later renamed itself after a line of popular dolls, the Dixie Cup. So the next time you use a paper cup or a public drinking fountain, you're following a century-old rule forged by one doctor on a Kansas train.